I feel like we need a theme music.
The love boat,
Not the love boat.
exciting.
Definitely not the love boat. All right.
Love shot.
Y'all
Let's a
ready.
love shot. Let's a love shot. No,
You know what? I do need my phone because I'll just have to do Facebook over here. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into this.
okay.
All right, so let me do your Facebook. All right. Good evening, good night. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We are on day 3 of our marriage principles. 16 marriage principles for 16 years. That's right. Guys, we've been together for 16 years. Unbelievable, unreal. I can almost believe it myself, but then again, I can believe it. It's just so good. Thank God for the grace of God. All right, yeah. So welcome back. Good night, good evening to you. Um, Again, this is day 3 of our 16 principles for 16 years of marriage series.
Yep.
As we are still celebrating our 16 years of marriage, we're sharing a principle each day, every single day, through the end of this month to help hopefully some of you in your marriages and some of you on your journey to being married, with the principles that have helped shaped our relationship. We truly pray that this conversation today encourages you wherever you may be in your own relationship journey. So let's jump right in. Anybody want to know what our marriage principle is for tonight? Anybody want to know what the marriage principle is for tonight? All right, babe, let's go ahead and tell the people what the marriage principle is.
So this is principle number 8. I'm sorry, did I say 8? I
You
must
did.
be hungry. I must have not ate yet.
What does 8 have to do with you being hungry? Oh my God, Lord, pray for me.
Okay, the marriage principle number 11.
11.
So this one is confirmation is often found in consistency. Confirmation is often found in consistency. That's our marriage principle for today.
Excellent, excellent. For all the folks that like to get confirmations and fleeces and all of those kind of things, we thank God for the confirmations. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about confirmations and we're going to talk about character and consistency when you are primarily when you're looking to become married and you're in your dating season. This is something that you definitely want to look for. One of my favorite words is becoming. It has become over the last years the word consistency. It is a word that I had not frequently used in my vocabulary in years before. It was a word that I honestly and quite embarrassingly I had not considered in years before. But consistency has become a huge word in my life because it's something that I'm working on in every area of my life. And I thank God that looking back in retrospect, I can honestly say that on my dating slash courting journey and becoming married, I was truly able to see the power of consistency when you are preparing for a relationship. And we'll get a little bit deeper into that. So, welcome again tonight. I would love to see a comment in the chat, whether you're here with us live or whether you're watching the replay. I would love to see a question. If you have a question, we will do our very, very best to answer it. But if you just have something you want to share, you want to say, we would love to see that. And if you know someone who is dating and getting ready to be married, or maybe even a marriage that needs a little bit of help, a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of push in the right direction, then go ahead and be kind. Share this live with somebody, not for us, but somebody that needs help in their relationship. So as our relationship began to grow, we actually began to realize that lasting confidence, it wasn't built on emotions or isolated moments. Confidence in our relationship was not built on emotions. It was built on consistent patterns of character. It was the consistency that I saw in my husband and the consistency that he saw in me over time. that helps to build that confidence in each other and in our relationship. So that's what we want to talk about here. We want to keep in mind how wisdom, accountability, conviction, and shared values, it helps couples to make healthy relationship decisions. And so it reminds us that while our feelings may change, because feelings and emotions, they do change. They do not remain the same. They may change, but consistent character provides a foundation that can be trusted. You cannot trust your feelings and you cannot trust your emotions. But where there is character and consistency, you can trust that. I'm not saying that people can't change and people can't grow and people can't mature. But when you see character in the person and you see it as a consistent pattern in their life, you better take that over emotion any day. And by emotion, I mean a person that you're dating may be stimulating the emotions that make you feel good by actions or words that they say, but you can't go off of that alone because why? We just said it. Emotions change. But when you have a person that is, they have good godly character and they have it consistently, for example, actually, how about you go ahead and share the example you gave earlier?
Oh, okay. Sure.
Let's just do this. Let's do this because we're gonna get into the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Uh,
So I was thinking about Rebecca. So Eliezer in Genesis goes to look for a wife for his master Isaac, and he said he went and he prayed and he got to the location where Abraham was from, and he started praying. Was praying and said, "Lord, help me to find the right person because I've never been down this road and I'm not sure exactly where I'm going, who am I looking for." So help me to find the right person. He didn't say help me to find the most beautiful woman or help me to find the most wealthy woman or whatever the other things or materialistic things that may be a sign. You know, if you see coming around with the bling coming in, like, yeah, that's the one I was looking for, or she winking her eyes, or whatever, whatever the things was he was looking for. But he prayed and he said, Lord, let this woman come, and when I ask her for water, not only will she give me water, but she will also feed my camels. Now, I don't know if you know about camels. Camels can drink a mountain. They got a couple of bellies of water that they can drink from. That's why they can traverse the desert most frequently. So for her to feed those camels, it wasn't just like cup of glass and you pour it in, the man drinks and he's done. No, you got to fill up a whole thorough of things. And he didn't have just one camel, he had multiple camels.
yeah.
So he prayed that prayer, and then he went to the place where the women came to draw water for themselves and for their cattle and so forth stuff. So when Rebecca came, he asked her and said, hey, can you give me some water to drink? And she said, yes, I will give you water to drink, which was hospitality or hospitable, because normally in the Middle Eastern culture, they usually, whenever you go into any's house, even my family, if anybody comes and visit us, would you like some water? Because water was not something that was readily available for everyone else. So it was something that was brought into the house.
Yeah.
And when you're traveling, it's not like you can go to 7-Eleven and grab a drink and kind of thing. So that was the way that we showed hospitality. And she showed hospitality not only for him, as far as giving him water, but also she fed all the camels until they were completely finished. They were no longer thirsty. And so that was a consistent pattern that she gave, because she could have said, okay, I can give you water, but I ain't doing your camels, man. I don't know you like that. She could have just said, forget, after the first one, man, this is labor. It's like taking this little bucket and I got to fill it up every time. So it's not like those 5, and it's a woman. Think about that. That's carrying the thing, the container to bring the water back and forth, the jar, right? So it was a lot of work. But that consistent fact that she stayed to it, stayed with it until she fed all the camels. And then the guy was like, yep, this is the one. I said, who are you? And then the story continues. But that consistent pattern is what we are talking
Now I need you to clarify something for the people. The water that she was preparing was not for her camels.
No, it was for the Eleazar, the servant, had been traveling all the way from his master's house, Abraham's house, all the way to this country where his brother lives in land of Ur. I'm assuming at the moment, I'm not thinking properly, but land of Ur. So it was a long distance that he traveled, and yet normally they use camels as a way to either carry a person or to carry their equipment and stuff, or jewelry, or whatever the case they may need. So that way they don't have to carry it on their back. So that's why the camels are weighed down with a lot of things, or with people. So it was definitely not her camels.
So what we're understanding you to say is Eleazar was watching her.
Yes.
But was checking her out for someone else.
Yes.
As a potential wife. And he noticed that not only did she go and get the water for him,
mm-hmm. Yep,
but she stayed and she continued to make sure that his animals
had water,
treated with water as well.
Yep.
And let's just be honest, she could have missed her blessing that day, bar, because I don't know if it was hot there like it is in North Carolina right now.
Ooh, Jesus.
I'm telling you right now, I don't know if I would have been the girl, but yeah, so that shows consistency and character. It shows character in the sense that she wasn't just doing it just to appease him in the immediate need, but she took it to the next level. She had some grit. She had enough grit to keep going and feeding those animals that did not belong to her. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's awesome. I love that you brought that out. And so that was his confirmation. To see her go the extra mile, that told him to a certain degree that this woman can handle some stuff. She has consistent. The capacity, and she has the consistency that is needed as a wife to be. All right, so awesome. So, babe, tell me this. Let's tell the people and be nice to me. Be nice to me. No, I'm just kidding. However you want to bring it, you know.
What you gonna do if they don't? No, I'm just kidding.
When you look back, what consistent qualities did you see in me, your wife, that gave you confidence that we were building something lasting? Wait, do I need to leave the room? Don't be taking a deep breath like that.
Okay. I think one of the things over the 16 years that we've been together is the fact that things may not always go the way that you wanted to, but you were persistent even trying, or even trying to continue to move forward. If that didn't work, you try to find something else. So you like being persistent to reach the goal that you're trying to set. I think about our pastors when they say, if you're going to fail faster. If you're going to make mistakes, make more mistakes faster. So that way you can be able to be persistent enough to get the answer that you need, or to accomplish what you're trying to do. So persistence is what I believe I see the pattern of in your life, which helps you, because I believe that's innate in you, meaning it's been in you from the beginning, because you're persistent in what you're trying to do. The only thing that could be challenging is...
All right, that's enough. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, the only thing is persistent is if you're persistent in the wrong direction, then that'll take you down the wrong road. But you're persistent in the right direction, which is trying to do what God is kind of leading you to do, and trying to move in that direction. So that's a trait. That's a great trait.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. And it's not in our setup for tonight, our notes, but I'll just say that you have been consistent as a husband in the sense of always supporting me. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, ladies, make sure that you have someone, and men, that is going to support you and not compete with you, that is going to support you and not I know people who are married and have had situations with spousal jealousy. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, how can you be jealous of your spouse when you are one? So I can honestly say that the consistency, one of the many, my husband has so many amazing godly character qualities and consistency, that it's really, really, how do you say it? It's really convicting, even for me, to grow in many areas. But one of the consistencies is your support for me. Never, ever, 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 ever in the 16 years of us being married have you ever stopped me from doing anything, discouraged me from doing anything. Always there, just always there to support and push in any way that he possibly can. So I'm grateful for that consistency in you. And I did see that before we got married. I peeped that. All right. So let's keep going.
Okay.
What questions do you have for me? Or
Okay. So were there patterns you noticed over time that helped confirm we were moving in the right direction?
patterns that I saw in you that helped me confirm that we were moving in the right directions. Um, yes, one pattern um, definitely is that the pattern of prayer in your life, your prayer life. I've been blessed to see, and I'm gonna bring up another one that may strike people as a surprise, but even your habit and practice and life of giving and tithing,
Mm-hmm.
tithing to wherever our faith community is, you have always been faithful and consistent with your tithing and your giving to the house and also your prayer. So I knew when I saw those things, even before um, getting married, well, not the tithing part, because I wouldn't, I don't think I was as familiar with that till after we got married. Then I saw it and I was like, wait, well, whoa, that's another lie. But just seeing how you really was faithful to God. And I just figured that any man that was that faithful to God would not have a struggle being faithful to his wife. So when I saw those patterns, I believed that we were on the right road.
Yeah.
And even if we were on the wrong road, we was going to end up on the right road with those qualities. So yeah.
Most definitely. Why do you think people sometimes chase signs while overlooking consistent character?
I think people, especially when it comes to relationships, tend to chase signs because it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's typically immediately available to see and acknowledge. For example, I think you mentioned it earlier when we were talking. I've heard women say that they're looking for their man to be 6 feet tall, tall, dark, and handsome. You know, all of these kind of descriptions, or someone that's going to buy me gifts, someone that's going to take me to fancy places. And I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but to chase the sign, the physical or tangible signs, and completely ignore the consistency in their character, um, it's not a good thing. And not only is it not a good thing, but it's surface. It's very surface. It's very superficial. And when you want to have a long-lasting relationship, a long-lasting marriage, it has to have some depth. You have to go a little bit deeper, which means you have to see beyond what you see. Hear me when I say you have to see beyond what you see. So signs is what you see with your eyes. But when you need to see somebody's character, and yeah, you can see a person's character and their consistency visibly as well. But the difference in signs from a person saying, "I want somebody to always give me gifts, always take me out, always do this, always say that." Um, that is emotional based. It feeds the emotions. But character and a person having consistent character, that doesn't feed the emotion, at least not immediately. That feeds into depth. It feeds into endurance, right? So I think people chase out the signs and overlook consistent character because it's easier. It's just easy. It doesn't require a whole lot of work, right? And marriage, you don't want that because marriage, honey, requires a whole lot of work. not so much on the other person, and yes, the other person, but marriage is going to require a whole lot of work within yourself, each person within yourself, right? So that's what I think about people chasing signs. Let's see here. Here's something to talk about. How has consistency helped us navigate difficult seasons? Or have there been seasons in our marriage where consistency strengthened our trust? Um, yeah, I'll let you go.
I think the consistency is knowing that when something happens, what the person's going to do. So when you know their pattern of what when something happens and it's whether good or bad, you have a pattern of knowing where to go, and knowing that helps me or helps us to continue to stay there. So even if we have disagreement or if we don't agree with a point or whatever the case may be, we know that or we have that consistent patterns that I know where she's going to go to the Lord. She's going to tell on me to her dad. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to tell on her on my dad.
Wait, wait. Hold on. Excuse us 1 second. You tell on me to your dad?
Yeah, I tell him everything. I lay it bare, naked, all everything on the table.
Y'all been there talking about me?
You should hear what he said.
I wish I could reach the camera right now. Go ahead. Apparently, they be talking about me, him and the Lord and stuff. But go ahead.
So it's like knowing those kind of things that helps us. So even when there's something that we don't quite understand, we have leaders. So we know we'll go to our leaders and say, "Hey, I need help with this," or someone that's a spiritual, someone that's mature in the faith that you know. So you know that they're gonna go to a place where they'll receive sound counsel or sound wisdom, or they're a praying person. So you know that you may get them ticked or upset, but you know at the end of the day, when you give them enough space to breathe, they'll talk to the Lord. And once they get done talking to him, the Lord's gonna set them straight, because we don't have to worry about the Lord telling you to do anything wrong, either you or me, vice versa. And if it's we're the one that's guilty, he'll be correcting us like, "No, son, that's not the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to be." So I can either get in line or I can do not get in line, but you know. So
you can get in line, or you can get that paper plastic bag. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, the paper plastic bag. We're not gonna talk about that for a long time. We'll share that one day. Yeah, that's so good, so good. So we know each other enough to know where we're going when there's disagreement, when there's conflict, when there's things going on. One thing that I know about my husband, he's so consistent, not predictable, but so consistent that I know for a fact he's not going to run to an individual per se right away. He's not going to run to something crazy like anything that is addictive. I know that he's going to run to the Lord. And so, and I do appreciate that. I don't have to worry as a wife about him running into the arms of someone else or into the wrong direction, because that character and that consistency has been consistent throughout the years. He knows that I'm not going to run into the arms of no one else, because who has time for that? Seriously, guys, who has time for that? We're building a future. We're building a life, however long it takes to build, however hard it is to build it. That's what we said when we said I do, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, till death do us part.
Sickness and in health.
In sickness, my God, and in health. And so, those, right? Help us, Jesus. No,
when you get married, everything is good. Then when you get older, you'll be like, "Lord have mercy, what happened?"
Hey, we know what happened. We're looking forward to the getting older stuff. You know, we just have to, keep together. Anyway, yeah. So that consistency has really been a help in our marriage. Yeah, and I was gonna say as well, when you're looking to get married, I think I mentioned it last night, you really it's hard to kind of grasp the mindset, because if you have never experienced being married before, let me say it like that. But it's a challenge to grab or adopt a mindset when you don't really know what to expect. You don't really know what you're going into. But I am a firm believer that you can learn from not only experience, but you can learn from history, right? You can learn from the history and the experiences of other people. And so if you can adopt that mindset that I am getting ready to make a decision, or I am in a marriage because I made a decision, until death do we part, then you already know that no matter what happens, as long as you both are on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't be pulling against each other in different directions. No matter what happens, we are in it together and we're in it to win it. And if you can manage that consistency from the beginning, half the battle is won, right? Half the battle is won. All right. So let's give you something to work on. Think about this with your spouse. When you look back, what consistent quality first made you trust your spouse or someone important in your life? But I want you to focus on your spouse, especially if you're in the marriage right now and you're having challenges. What were the qualities that you saw in your spouse earlier on or before you got married? And do you think people rely more on feelings or consistent character when making relationship decisions? Right now, if you're not married, if you're dating, you're courting, you're preparing to get married, do you rely on consistent character when you're making these decisions to become married or to start dating someone? Or do you rely on your feelings alone? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question, right? Okay. This week, I want you to, or let's say for the next 24 hours, I want you to take some time to identify one consistent character quality you appreciate in your spouse, right? One consistent character quality that you appreciate in your spouse, and share it with them and explain why it has strengthened your trust and your relationship. Tell your spouse what the quality is that you appreciate in their life and how it has strengthened your relationship together, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to say anything else before we go? Because I feel yeah, it's time to go to bed. We're gonna let the mister go.
I think if I can give clarity as far as the sign and the consistency, if I can give an example of that, it would be like a person that just got saved. So I believe there's an evidence that comes when you speaking or when you get filled with the Holy Ghost. So there's the evidence that comes forth. That's a sign, right? There's a sign that shall follow them. So that sign appears. But now here's the consistent part of it. Do you change your character from what you used to do to what you're doing now? So if you're looking at the consistency, it's like that. He's like that all the time. He's kind to everybody. He's kind to dogs, to the animals. There's a consistency. There may be a sign there, but you also need the consistency to confirm. So sign may not be
So
a bad thing, but you also need additional evidence by mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. So if you're just saying the signs by itself, yeah, they got filled with the Holy Ghost and they spoke in tongues. But then what is the consistent pattern that comes from it? And you won't see that until you allow them to live a little bit or to walk with the Lord or to see what kind of life they live. So you need that consistent character to help you. What is that consistent character that you're working with?
Oh, that was so good. The sign and the transformation, so good. We're going to leave you with the scripture found in Matthew 7, verse 16 through 20. Matthew 7 through verse 16 through 20. I don't have my glasses, but I'm going to attempt to read this.
By their fruit.
By their fruit. That's right.
You will recognize them.
You will recognize them. And I love how it says it here. It says, again, it's Matthew 7, verse 16 through 20. And it says, by their fruit, you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears what? Bad fruit, right? A good tree cannot bear bad fruit. Say that again. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot. It does not have the ability to bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruit will you, and I love how it doesn't say no, but it says recognize them, right?
Yep.
So we're going to close with this. Love is not blind. You got to open your eyes and look for that confirmation through consistent character. Look for consistent character.
I gotta give you this.
Oh my God.
You got me started.
Go ahead.
Okay. I remember Bishop Robert Douglas. He was a bishop that I knew. And one of the things he taught me was love is blind, but marriage is an eye opener. Love is blind, right? You're looking for that sign, you get the sign. It's blind, but marriage is an eye opener.
Marriage is an eye opener. All right. Thank you,
leave
David.
that right there. So
Thank you. Confirmation through consistent character. Thank you so much for joining us for day 3 of our 16 marriage principles from 16 years series. We hope today's conversation has encouraged you. Join us again tomorrow as we continue sharing another principle that has helped shape our marriage and relationship over the last 60 years. That's so crazy. 16 years. Quinceañera. All right. Have a blessed evening, and thank you again for joining us. We love you. God bless you.
good night. Good night.
Good night.